come here, you idiot. I'm fucking adding up what I'm trying to tell you in your fucking eyeballs.
Right.
Yeah, and you're putting the quail
No, I
in.
have the ones there.
That's for that fucking order there.
In the early 2000s, Hell's Kitchen first hit the airwaves. It was chaos in the best way. A no-nonsense Gordon Ramsay, a bunch of wannabe chefs trying to prove themselves, and the looming threat of someone getting screamed at for burning scallops.
And it's still raw.
They're raw? Still? Are you kidding me?
It was intense. It was raw. It was reality TV at its finest. But somewhere along the way, something started to change. The insults got predictable, the drama felt staged, and what used to feel like authentic high-stakes cooking started to look like a scripted soap opera with a garnish of profanity. The fire that made Hell's Kitchen an event slowly turned into a flickering pilot light. Still there, but barely keeping the pot boiling. The roots of Hell's Kitchen trace back to Gordon Ramsay's meteoric rise in the UK. Before the US debut, the original British version aired in 2004, combining his no-filter coaching style with the pressure cooker of a working kitchen. When Fox brought the concept stateside in 2005, they didn't just import a format, they amplified it. Bigger sets, higher stakes, and a production style that leaned into drama made it an instant hit. Contestants weren't just competing for a job, they were stepping into the public spotlight. It wasn't just a cooking show, it was a battle royale with chef whites designed to push people to their absolute limits, while viewers at home watched with popcorn in hand. Hell's Kitchen was the brainchild of Gordon Ramsay and ITV Studios, originally launching in the UK in 2004 before making its American debut in 2005. The concept was simple: bring in a group of aspiring chefs, split them into two teams, and pit them against each other in high-pressure dinner services until only one is left standing, with a dream job in one of Ramsay's restaurants as the prize. In those early seasons, it felt authentic. The contestants were real chefs chasing a legitimate opportunity, and Gordon wasn't just a reality star. He was a world-class chef whose brutal honesty made for compelling television. Watching him tear apart an overcooked risotto was exhilarating because you knew the stakes were real. Between seasons 2 and 10, Hell's Kitchen was appointment TV. Every episode had that perfect balance of chaos and competition. You had contestants like Heather West, Rock Harper, and Christina McAmer, people you actually rooted for, going through the fire, not just for screen time, but for a real shot at success in the culinary world. The drama was organic, the challenges were intense, and the kitchen meltdowns felt unscripted. There was something electric about watching Ramsay lose his mind over raw chicken, while the other chefs scrambled to fix the line. It wasn't just reality TV, it was a masterclass in pressure, personality, and the art of creating something out of chaos. The magic of the golden era was that it balanced pure chaos with genuine talent. The dinner services were unpredictable, but never cartoonish. The challenges actually tested culinary skill, and the editing let the food and the chefs shine. Viewers tuned in, not just for the explosions in the kitchen, but for the genuine growth arcs. You could see a timid line cook transform into a confident head chef over the course of a season. Ramsay, while terrifying, also had authentic moments of mentorship that gave the show real heart. It was that mix of volatility and authenticity that made every episode impossible to miss. But as the years went on, something shifted. The show went from feeling like a legitimate culinary competition to a reality TV parody of itself. Contestants stopped being chefs and started being characters. The casting leaned harder into drama than talent, and suddenly the kitchen looked less like a training ground and more like a soundstage. The editing started to feel formulaic. The same story beats, the same arguments, the same meltdown at the garnish station every season. And Gordon, he went from terrifying mentor to playing up his persona for the cameras, delivering insult catchphrases on autopilot like a comedian running out of material on tour. And of course, no reality juggernaut is without its scandals. Over the years, Hell's Kitchen has been called out for editing contestants into caricatures, fueling toxic behavior, and exploiting real emotions for ratings. Several contestants have spoken out about producers pushing for drama, staging confrontations, and selectively editing footage to create villains and heroes. There have also been reports of unsafe working conditions during filming, from grueling hours in blistering heat to lack of proper breaks, with some former contestants saying the experience left them physically and emotionally drained. And let's not forget the backlash over Gordon's infamous insults, which, while entertaining, have crossed the line from sharp critiques to downright humiliating moments that sparked conversations about reality TV ethics. And then there's the revolving door of lawsuits and accusations the show has faced over the years. Former contestants have claimed that producers heavily manipulated manipulated footage to create fake storylines, painting some chefs as villains and others as heroes, regardless of what actually happened in the kitchen. There have even been allegations that the show staged certain meltdowns or exaggerated conflicts to generate drama for promos. What was sold as raw, unfiltered reality started looking more like a carefully edited reality play, with contestants left to deal with the fallout long after the cameras stopped rolling. There have also been repeated concerns about the treatment of contestants during production. From claims of harsh filming conditions like grueling hours in sweltering heat and sleep deprivation, to accusations of psychological manipulation to provoke bigger on-camera reactions, the behind-the-scenes stories have made fans question where reality ends and exploitation begins. For a show that built its legacy on authenticity, these controversies have chipped away at the credibility that once made Hell's Kitchen must-watch TV. As the seasons piled up, Hell's Kitchen stopped evolving. The editing formula became painfully predictable. One underdog, one villain, one meltdown per episode, rinse and repeat. What once felt like high-stakes, unfiltered competition turned into something manufactured, with every episode following the same playbook. The pacing slowed, the dinner services felt staged, and even the so-called big twists were recycled ideas dressed up as new concepts. The audience that once tuned in for the chaos and authenticity started to feel like they were watching reruns, even in brand new seasons. And then came the franchise fatigue. With endless reruns, spin-offs, and constant marketing of Gordon Ramsay's other shows, Hell's Kitchen became less of a centerpiece and more of just another cog in a massive reality TV machine. Instead of building anticipation for each new season, the network pumped out content until the excitement flatlined, a victim of its own overexposure. Casting is where the shift is most obvious. Early contestants were raw, passionate chefs looking for a real shot in Ramsay's kitchens. Now, it feels like half the cast is plucked straight from central casting. Loud personalities designed for viral sound bites, not culinary skill. Sure, there are still talented chefs, but they often get overshadowed by the walking reality TV stereotypes. And when every contestant is trying to build a personal brand instead of focusing on the cooking, the authenticity that made Hell's Kitchen addictive is gone. What's worse is how the show leans into these caricatures, practically scripting roles before the season even starts. The villain, the fan favorite, the quiet underdog. By the time the first service ends, you can already predict who's staying for the drama and who's just there to fill airtime. It's less about talent now and more about who can trend on Twitter the fastest. There's no denying the cultural impact of Hell's Kitchen. It gave Gordon Ramsay his household name status in America, introduced millions to the high-stakes world of fine dining, and spawned an entire generation of fans who thought yelling "It's raw" in a bad British accent was peak comedy. But that legacy has started to sour. What was once a raw and gripping look at the culinary world has become a caricature of itself. A reality show clinging to its former glory, surviving on recycled insults and predictable drama rather than genuine competition. Gordon Ramsay was once the heart of Hell's Kitchen. His rants were sharp, his standards were brutal, and his passion for food was undeniable. When he called you a donkey, you felt it in your soul because you knew he actually cared about the quality of the food leaving that kitchen.
Are cooking like donkeys. Come on! Donkey's Kitchen. Should we change the fucking logo?
That intensity made every episode electric because Gordon wasn't playing a role. He was a Michelin-starred chef holding people to Michelin-star standards. But over the years, that raw authenticity turned into a character. Ramsay went from a chef who yelled because he cared to a reality star performing for the cameras. The insults started to sound rehearsed, the outrage felt scripted, and the genuine mentorship moments, the ones that made the early seasons special, started disappearing. What we have now is Gordon Ramsay the brand, a celebrity chef running an empire with a reality show that feels like just another product on the menu. Hell's Kitchen sucks now because it stopped being about the food. It's no longer a brutal, honest look at what it takes to survive in a high-end kitchen. It's a script dressed up as reality, running on the fumes of Gordon Ramsay's name and a few dozen bleeps per episode. The stakes are gone, the unpredictability is gone, and the authenticity that made the show iconic has been traded for manufactured chaos. At this point, Hell's Kitchen isn't about producing great chefs, it's about producing great ratings. And somewhere between the raw scallops and the staged meltdowns, the magic that made the show special got burned to a crisp. Thanks for watching.